episode of 12 Months of Dollywood. Taking this from the blog, I'm making it a video. I have a lot of video clips I want to share. I'm going to do that here. Blogging is hard. I've got other blogs to write that I need to. And I'm going to start out with a guest, an esteemed guest, Justin Hornback. He is Snapshots Made yesterday on Twitter, at Snapshots Made. I'll put that handle up when I do my editing here. And let's just bring him on. Hello. How's it going, Justin?
Hello. How are you?
Very well. Anything you want to tell people about yourself, other than that you take snapshots and you post them the day after you take them?
Well, yeah, I'm Justin, so I'm Snapshots Made yesterday, and I am a former Dollywood Insider, so I'm a little partial to the Dollywood portion of all of it, and I guess the backstory behind it is that our snapshots, it's Snapshots Made yesterday. So snapshots are the memories for tomorrow. The memories we made yesterday are the memories for tomorrow. And that's kind of where that came in. Is me and my wife were talking. I was trying to figure out, like, what do I want this to be? What is this that I want? What's the name? And it's something about memories and family and being together and then having those for tomorrow. And then that came in, that the snapshots made yesterday are the memories for tomorrow. It was like, so that came. And so then I was going to try to start blogging to start with. I paid into all of that and started, and then I became a Dollywood Insider. So it worked out really well. I had the Twitter feed and the Instagram, but I've stuck with Instagram and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter probably Twitter more than anything, I suppose, at this point. And I just didn't, it was not, I like writing, but I couldn't get to the point where I wanted to write all the time. So yeah, I kind of stopped at that point. I was like, never mind, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah, and then I became a Dollywood Insider, which you are experiencing that, which is awesome. It's just such a cool opportunity. And then the ability to share memories with other people as well, and share in the memories, I guess, is kind of the more fun of it, is that live in the now and not always, obviously you're going to have the past, but live in the now and then relish in all of that with other people. And that's been a lot of fun. So on the opposite end, now that I'm no longer a Dollywood Insider, I had a career change, and it's just been awesome. Blessings all around. I cannot complain. And now I get to live on the opposite end and then live vicariously as you go and travel around and get to see all the good Dollywood stuff and make me super jealous. So it's payback.
Yeah, the press conferences the other day were my first real experience of insiderness. Before, I just felt like I was writing articles. I was going to ask about being an insider. How long did it take you to become comfortable as an insider? Or did that happen about the time you left?
Probably about the time that I left. I mean, really, because to start with, everybody has their own journey with it. It's something that I wanted to do, so I'm going to throw the word Disney out, because they've got they have the moms panel, basically, which they had opened up to families in general. It just didn't matter. So I had applied to be on the moms panel a couple of times, filled that out. I think I made it to, and probably most people do, make it to the second round, through that, and then you usually get done with it. That was
not everybody makes it to the second round.
Well, I only did it one time. I only got through the second. I don't remember how many years I filled it out. And then I was like, well, it's not really, and then that's when it came around that maybe I'll just start the blog, because I could do something with that. And we had been going to Dollywood. And so I thought about it. And then it came up about the Dollywood Insiders to apply. And so I applied for it, whatever, If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And it did happen. And then the pressure was on. I'm like, okay. So now I really have to, I'm going to be doing this and coming up with ideas and pitches. And it's very different. You could speak to this too, because you're pitching ideas along with another group of people who most of the time somebody ends up having the same idea. And so then it's, can I pitch this idea in a different way that somebody else wouldn't pitch? So, and I'm a video person, right? I've always loved film and everything. And I remember being asked, well, would you want to do videos, on there? And I'm like, yeah, but I feel more comfortable writing. And in hindsight, I should have done it. I should have just started out with videos, but I was, it was intimidating. Social media can be a cruel world.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows that, but social media can be cruel. So yeah, that was kind of my hesitation, was that, yes, I enjoy doing it, but then I'm going to be rated by other people, and out in the world, that professionals that do this for a living. So that held me back. But once, I'm trying to think, my first blog for it was with the Kingdom Heirs. And once I got that one out of the way, then it was kind of like, okay, now I kind of know how this goes, the feeling of it. And then it got a lot easier, but also then 2020 happened, which stopped a lot of it and changed it around. So some of the blogs that we were going to be doing, we couldn't even do because we didn't know what was going to happen at that point. So But yeah, by the time I ended, I was probably most comfortable to be able to do it. But also, it's always good to have a fresh start. It's always good to have the fresh people come in and see different perspectives, because I'm going to have a perspective that other people are not going to have. So it's nice that it changes, and it's a lot of fun. The only thing I have to complain about is Granny Ogles. Please bring back Granny Ogles.
It's coming back. It's coming back. Granny Ogles was on the list from that blog.
It's coming back. All right. And original food, we're back to somewhat normal.
It didn't say that.
Sorry, Justin, I was wrong. It's not coming back. Yeah.
At the press conference, they were talking about how the food was going to be improved, and then the new president was really talking about throughput. And you saw it last year when they redid Hickory. I don't remember the exact title, the Hickory place.
Yeah.
They redid that. That looked really nice in some respects.
And it's still solid food. It is good. It is a good eat.
Those barbecue fries are so good.
That's what I get every time I go there. They are so good.
I had never tried it, and then my daughter and them tried it, and they were like, "These are so great!" And then I went and had them, and then they moved it down to where the Chicken Shack, the chicken place was, and they had extra sauces. They had the spicy sauce and they got rid of that when they put it back in the place. And I was like, "Do you have this?" And they're like, "We've been asked that."
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Because we were talking about things you can't necessarily complain about.
Yes.
As a Dollywood insider, and it's fine. We all kind of know that there's a point. I just steer clear of it. Even when I was an insider, there's going to be things that I say, I wish, or how about, but also I'm not the one making the decision. So I can gripe and complain all I want to in the car. I just probably won't post about it.
I'm also remarkably accepting of things. Higher prices, I understand that. The way they did prices this year was great, where they lowered the price of the Gold Pass, try to get people to buy those, to come to the Golden events and the Golden Hours. The Golden Hours, you've heard of that, right? You've heard about that part.
Because that's the where it's earlier, like an hour early, right? And that's
if you have a Gold or Diamond, the first hour of every day you can use your pass as a time saver.
As the time saver. That's right. Yeah.
Which is awesome if you can get up that early.
Well, there is that.
I live 2 hours away.
There is that. Yeah. Their method of doing business is almost akin to Chick-fil-A, I guess I could say. Just
Yeah.
like these are the choices that are being made are solid. I mean, so with Hershon, because it for people who don't know, Hershon is a part owner of Dollywood as well, but they also own Silver Dollar City out in Branson, Missouri, and they're now trying to buy here in my home state of Kentucky. They're in the throes of taking Kentucky Kingdom, and they make great choices. I mean, they make the family. It's solid family fun and good choices for people. Well, I mean, and then they're doing the whole college thing now too. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Actually, they do own that. That I'm looking at the Hershon Family Entertainment website.
Should be listed on there with Kentucky Kingdom, right?
They own Dollywood, yeah, Silver Dollar City, Kentucky Kingdom, Wild Adventures in Valdosta. And which I didn't realize that. They have a Luminites festival just like Dollywood has with the very same packages.
Is Newport Aquarium still on there?
Newport Aquarium. There's an Adventure Aquarium in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Whitewater Park, Splash Country. Which I'm going to go to for the first time this year. It's my absolute going to do that.
It is pretty neat. I mean, when I first started with the panel, and everything was, they had started Wildwood Grove and was starting to announce all the bigger things, and I've said it since then. I probably said it more quietly instead of posting. Obviously, when I was an insider, I didn't necessarily post about it, but I kept saying, like, to my family, I'm like, they are going to outperform Disney. They are on the track to outperform, and they
did during the pandemic.
Yeah, and which is crazy to think about. I mean, it's just this place, but I mean, you look around Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, how big it's gotten, and then what all Dollywood has to offer. I am not surprised, but sometimes I get worried about the crowd numbers. Like, I wish these were at 2018, 2017, 2015 numbers. Sometimes, yeah, I know that doesn't equal money, but it does equal shorter lines sometimes.
I couldn't tell last year. If they were still limiting attendance near the end, or if they were just setting reservations to,
which
are going away, by the way, if you haven't heard, they
are going away. See, I'm not,
that was announced in the blog as well.
I'm surprised that they're getting rid of it, only because it's a easy way to know how many people are coming. I know. I'm surprised that they're doing that. And also as a person that's going in to have to make a reservation, then I know too, I can see this whole week is almost full, whatever almost full, ends up being thousands of people, but it's still a good visual. I find that interesting. I just figured they would keep that basically from now on. But it is the hassle of, I've got to make the reservation, got to go in, when I could just drive up and walk in.
Yeah, Disney's keeping reservations because they're doing it for staffing. I like the idea for if you can then limit. You say today we're only going to allow half the number of people because this is the time of year that only half the number of people. Then we can only have half the number of staff available. I don't know if you've ever been at a park or place when they did not expect it to be very busy, and they're swamped, and the hosts are just going nuts.
Oh yeah,
and people get cranky, and it's a circle.
It happened a few times, I'm sure, last year. I'm not speaking ill or badly.
No, not at all. They were doing amazing.
They were performing. This is just my view. They were performing better than they expected to be performing. I really believe that's exactly your goal is to always perform well.
Yes.
And you want to outperform what you do, but I really believe they were outperforming they're outperforming deal. And then you've got, just you run into not having enough staff to do it. And that just causes the problem. You just need more staff. And that's the only thing. So they have great opportunities out there. It's pretty cool. I wish Dollywood was closer. It's 4 hours from me, so if it was closer, I might end up, working a summer job or something out there.
Yeah, that would be quite a trip for
Yeah, I'd have to set up residency for
kids.
a little bit.
That's a family thing.
Yeah.
See you, honey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go work at a theme park this summer.
Yeah, I'll be back in
2 hours
2.5 months. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't really work for teachers either. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and plus, why would you want? Well, let's not get into why you would want to have the summer off. That's my wife used to have the summer off. Then the only downside of being a teacher, of course, is taking your vacation during the time when everybody else is taking their vacation.
Yep. Well, and that's so with the. I know I'm digressing. With the job change, that's what. Sometimes people do think you obviously have the whole summer off. You're off of all of June and July. It's not true. It is not true, because you still have to go in for days. Like I'm still doing a summer school thing for 2 weeks. So that means I'm later in June. Then I got to go back the end of July. So no, we do work. We work quite a bit. And I used to work in a theater, so we never closed. I mean, that was that was basically all the time anyway. So not much has changed, I guess. Except I'm not a Dollywood insider. That's what's changed.
Yeah. I understand the feeling there. I can imagine, the day's going to come where like I'm either the end of this year or the end of next. One of the two. And it'll be hard when watching, because we went to the Heart Song location, which is just fantastic.
Oh.
It's completely surrounded by trees. I think it's going to be fantastic.
How many hotels did they
Not
announce?
that the Dreamworld isn't
have?
fantastic.
Oh, well, yeah, it is fantastic. Did they announce how many
editing.
hotels that they're going to do? That'll be their second one.
Was it 5 or 10? There was
well,
and I think if I'm thinking 10, it's like 10 different things they wanted to do.
They've got, they have to have more land than we even realize. Somebody knows how much land.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just really impressive. And because you can get in there and you take the Dollywood Express and you ride around, and then you can go, how could they even expand? Like where would they even go? They can do it. And they do it without tearing down mountains.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. It's very impressive.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see where it goes. Eugene Naughton, president, talked a lot about their 10-year plan. So, and that's why I may be mixing up the 5 properties or 10 properties. I will, if I don't cut this out, which I may, I'll put that in a graphic.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't looked at it yet. I saw, because I was watching you go through the area, and then you got to check out. I'm a huge hotel nerd, so I was like drooling with all of the with getting to check out the layout and all. I was like, oh my god, why didn't I take off of work and go down there to take this 2-hour tour so that I could go and see all this? But I didn't. But so I thank you for going.
No, because that's been my favorite part, is the media thing. I would love to keep being in media for that sort of thing.
Well, I'm trying to think. The first media thing that I didn't really get to do any of the like behind the scenes stuff because of my job. I just couldn't go. So when they had the big hubbubaloo about Wildwood Grove opening and all, I was in the first group of pass holders to get to go in and check it out, which was really cool. And then I think they did it was like that Friday was when Dolly Parton was there and all. Yeah. And they did it. So I got to go do that, but I didn't get to really do the full experience of doing the media stuff. So and she went to Dreammore the one time and was in one of the conference rooms there. So I missed out on some of those, but it was fine because I was still getting to do other things. Not everybody gets to do those. And so it never bothered me. I'm
100%
just neat.
I'm 100% sure I'm going to get to interview Dolly next week. That's all I'm Just kidding. There's no way I would even do that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that'd be pretty cool. When we were doing when she was down there for the Hallmark movie that they were filming there, they drove her van right up. It was right outside the ice cream shop. I mean, just like right out there. And I was standing there and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I've never seen Dolly in person. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever seen it. So then the driver got out and opened up the door, and here she just kind of scooted out and hopped down. Hi, y'all. And the woman that was standing next to me, I thought she was going to faint. I mean, she started to cry. And then Dolly just kind of walked around and went up to her thing. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, just like, and that's the other neat thing. I mean, you talk about a family theme park. It's also owned by a family person. She came out with the Christmas album, and she's doing, I mean, and taking up money for here and helping out there and doing this movie and doing that. And now, and I honestly am surprised that she's doing the opening weekend at Dollywood. I really am. I just figured she wouldn't, but wow. Now I'm sad I don't get to go.
Yeah, when I heard she was going to be there, I was like, I'm going to this. There's no way I'm missing this one. And my mother-in-law is actually moving in with us the day before. So I'm out.
Now, is she doing 2 days? Is she doing Friday and Saturday of talks, or is it just Friday?
I have no idea. I don't pay attention.
We just know that she's doing Friday.
We'll put that up on the screen. But.
Yeah, I know she's going there Friday, but I didn't know if she was doing like 2 days worth and trying to let more people in or what. It's going to be chaos.
And they do a lot of stuff with Microsoft. They program a lot like with Microsoft, called it their MVP program, which is similar to the Insiders, but not even somewhat the same thing. And there was one year I was going to see Bill Gates speak. And, maybe we have a little less of an opinion of Bill Gates now, I suppose. But at the time, I really wanted to see him. And I got sick and ended up in my hotel room. This was way before COVID. Because
oh, my gosh.
Microsoft, a long time ago. There was a kid on the plane that was sick. And I was like, oh, no. There it was. And, yeah. So, miss seeing Mr. Gates speak to a captive audience of developers who were super excited. Almost like Spielberg coming out to a group of film nerds at the time.
Well, I have a feeling that Dolly Parton will be a little better. And I mean, I don't know what she's going to talk about, but I'm going to guess it'll be that 10-year plan. I would say she'll come out and Naughton, right? Mr. Naughton, that he'll probably come out too. Because I kind of pictured around the same lines when they announced Wildwood Grove, those plans. And maybe not. She may do a full-on concert. Who knows? But and if she does, man, oh man, you're in for a treat. I can tell you.
I will record and post everything I can so you can see it.
Yep, absolutely. And even if you can't share it, I'll be asking.
I will not do that. I will not share this to anybody.
Yeah. That's what always happens, right? Yeah. Put that cell phone away.
And that was the other thing I was shocked. I was like, when we went with the media day for the construction tour, I was like, can I share everything I see here? He says, like, we have the media here and go for it. It's like, yes.
They were showing a whole lot. Now, are they doing some expansion or anything with the water park? Did they announce any of that? I haven't read all.
They replaced Little River.
Creek,
Little Creek. They tore that out and they're putting in a splash pool kind of place for where people of all abilities can.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wheelchair accessible, like that kind of stuff.
So are you going to take your grandkids then out there to the water park?
Not on opening day.
Well, not on opening, but
I see what you mean. It's the water park.
Yeah.
Probably. I need a camera person is what I need.
Yeah. It's a massive water park. I mean, it is, and it's hidden in the trees. Oh my gosh. See, I hadn't been till what is I guess it was last year. Was it last year? Was my first year? Maybe it was the year before. And I had, it's just, I don't go to water parks. I just don't, like Kentucky Kingdom, you go in, you pay one price and you get both, it's kind of that deal. Dollywood, I want to go to the park. I just want to go ride the rides. I want to eat the cinnamon bread and that kind of deal. But I don't go for the water, but then I did. And my son was old enough, to be able to go and ride. And man, it's huge. It's huge. And a lot of fun.
I've never been there twice, but not to play. The first was our Insider introduction day. We took pictures over there.
Yeah.
And then the second day was during the construction. And yeah, you're right. All the water parks I've seen, and I've never been to one to go in and do the attractions. They're like concrete, these plastic jungles in the middle of a parking lot. Which it was fun. It's kind of the difference between an amusement park and a theme park, I know, but it's standing out in the hot sun, climbing upstairs never kind of thrilled me.
Waiting in the heat for that, a half an hour or an hour. I mean, some of the raft rides there, they get a long line, and I still haven't ridden everything there. There's a lot. There's a whole lot to do there. And they have one that's like, it's the slides that are shortly after you come in the park and on the left-hand side. Still haven't done those. I think they're the body slides. I still haven't done those. I forget that they're there because they're right at the beginning.
Yeah, her orientation day, it was at least in the 90s. And of course I was in jeans and a nicer shirt than I would normally wear to Dollywood. Yeah. Like, we're going to die right here. This is it. This is
the first.
I don't mind the heat. I'm like heat loving person. If it's 100, I don't mind. But usually I'm not wearing,
and you're also trying to get a professional picture taken and not melting at the same time.
Yes.
Our first one was hot, very hot, like that. And then the second time around, it was raining while we were doing it. It had like started out fine, and then it was pouring rain. So that was fun. And I still remember my picture. I was holding the umbrella. Most of us were holding an umbrella and then counting to 3 and then putting it down, and pretending like it wasn't pouring the rain. But the panel in I think it was 2018, it had been, if you look back at theirs, it had been raining so much. One of the guys, he was just soaked. Like if you look at it, you can tell he had actually just been drenched. But man, a photographer can make you look good.
Well, at
least one that knows what they're doing that can make you look good.
My picture, I'm afraid of how many bad pictures I took because I have not the greatest look on my face to start with in the picture that they turned out.
I hate the moment, they're like, all right, smile and hold it. So, your natural smile turns into,
I know.
And it's just like, okay, how long am I going to be holding this? And then you look at it and you're like, this is awful. Can we retake? I'll just, I'll stand up against my house and somebody take my picture because, my goodness, sometimes your smile just looks awful. You're frozen.
All right, so I've got a few Dollywood questions.
Oh boy, okay.
This isn't trivia.
Okay. Well,
when was the Tennessee tornado first? I don't care. I mean,
I don't know.
How fast does it go?
What is it? 70 something? Does it go 70 something?
Yeah.
It's fast.
So I know this one's an easy one for you, but what's your favorite restaurant at Dollywood?
Oh, favorite restaurant, Granny Ogle's. Granny Ogle's.
What about Granny Ogle says, I got to go there?
Well, the first time I ever ate there, I was not expecting the food that I got from it, and it was like oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it, but they have the ham. Oh, it's like the pulled ham or something like that, and the cornbread at that time was actually made inside the. It was like homemade cornbread, and it was and it came out the little bitty cast iron skillet. There. And it's just a real nice, it's just a beautiful location sitting there, and you get, people are walking by and you're next to the back porch theater. And so the music is there. It was just so relaxing, and the food was delicious. I don't mind a hamburger, but why get a hamburger when I can have, pit ham? That's what it is. When I can have that, and then and
Cane's
beans and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just loved it. That's my favorite place.
My favorite memory there was sitting in front of that heater. It was cold one year. It was at Christmas. And I was sat there. I was like, I'm not moving from this spot.
Yeah. In the wintertime, it does have a nice, when they get that little like fireplace thing there.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would say Aunt Granny's. And I like fried chicken.
My
Granny's,
parents,
it's all inside. That's nice.
My parents loved Aunt Granny's. And like 10 years ago, you could go and eat. It was all you could eat. And it was like $12.99 or something a person. I mean, it was, so they always ate there. I mean, that was because it was like the cheapest place in the park and they had the best food, really. And I had never eaten there till last year, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
I never did Aunt Granny's, and it was delicious. Very good.
Yes.
It was very expensive, but it was delicious. So I was glad I had a gold pass. I'll say that.
I mean, it's expensive compared to.
Oh yeah, I mean,
eating it outside of the park, but
and you're paying for the all you can eat. So they bring out this family style, and they're bringing the food out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta eat how much of this? I do not do well with buffets because I just eat and eat and eat. I feel like I have to eat, I got to eat like 10 bowls of something to get my money's worth. Yes, exactly. So, but it is very good. That food.
I'm not putting on my PR hat here or anything, but it's expensive compared. But you've been to Disney, right?
Oh yes. Yeah.
It's hot dog at Disney. Maybe not quite that bad.
Well, and I mean, if I go to Disney and I eat at, oh my gosh, I can't even think. I'm in next to Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom, the pirate. Oh my gosh, Pecos Bill. I mean, it's good, but it's expensive.
Yes,
for one person,
and it's not Aunt Granny's.
And it's not Aunt Granny's.
Not even somewhat.
Nope. You don't even get the service. See, that's the other thing. At Aunt Granny's and Front Porch Cafe and the oh my gosh, Granny Ogle's, it's the people that work there that make it even more special. So there were before COVID, there was an older woman that worked. She was the hostess and always sat us. And she'd been there for, I don't know, it must have been 20 some years. And she ended up retiring when COVID hit. But that, it was like going home. These people know, even if you haven't been there in months, you walk up and they're like, hey, good to see you again. And remember, you coming in for the such and such? You go to Disney, you're probably not really going to get that.
Now, I do have some cast members that recognize me, but
it's
because I ride some rides over and over.
Well, but yeah. Dollywood's just special. It's just special.
So, what is your favorite food at Dollywood, not including cinnamon bread?
Okay,
is that so?
Yeah, well, and I do not eat as much of the cinnamon bread anymore like I used to. Ooh, favorite food. I'm a sucker for a good pretzel, but I also really like the festival food. Does that work? Can I pick festival food? So the bulgogi nachos.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had those at the preview the other day.
I saw. Yeah. I can't wait to get more. Those are very good. Usually the festival food is my favorite. Because I can use. See, now you bring up the fish and chips.
That's actually that was mine. That's the thing I get once or twice a month when I'm there. What's your favorite attraction?
Does it have to be a ride?
It has to be an attraction.
It has to be an attraction. All right.
Which can be a show. It can be a.
Man, that one can be tough. Probably still though Dollywood Express.
Really?
Is that what? Yeah. What do you think I was going to say?
I don't know.
and
it's
the
interesting. I have heard that the Dollywood Express is the number one ride there. It's the
Well,
one everybody wants to ride.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid and we went there, that there was we rode up the mountain, and then on the side up there used to be that little outhouse deal. And they used to do a little show outside of it. And this guy he went inside I guess it was like it's years ago, I think, when it was Rebel Railroad, it was like, a train robbery. And then when it was Dollywood, they had something of it. I wanted to do a blog on it, but I didn't get approval on that one. But so the guy would go into the outhouse wearing this apple on his head, and this guy stood outside of it and said, "I'm going to shoot the apple, through the apple core, and not even look." And so they did it, and the guy came out and had this. I remember that. I can just remember that. And then I get to ride it with my son, who just lit up when he first really got to, really react to it. And and he's still, I mean, just today in the car was making train noises. He'll be 5 in May. But he that's what he wants to ride. And so it has a really special connection to me. So that's what it is. It's got to be that. At least right now.
No cinders.
Cinders or no cinders?
Cinders or not hit by cinders?
I'll take the cinders, but I won't take them in the eye.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I never rode up front for years.
Man, you get covered
in the back.
You get covered.
I sat in the front row once, and in the front car, and yeah, you get beaten up by the black soot all the time.
I mean, you come up, and it washes out. I mean, you don't, people don't have to get worried. It washes out, but you're going to come off. I mean, it's on your face. And it's on your clothes. You're going to brush it off, and you're going to go, well, that's going to stain. It's not going to stain. It'll be fine. But where else? You don't get that at Disney.
That's true.
It's like Dollywood pixie dust in a way. I guess it's Dolly dust, the Dollywood Express.
And some of the cast members some of the hosts, you said Disney. I think they're worried that eventually that's going to have to go away because of the, environmentalness of it all.
Yeah, I know. And I worry about it. I worry because can they overhaul it to just become not coal powered? Can they? So and then that changes the whole thing. Then you've got two pieces of machinery that were, part of America itself, in battling in the war, and then also part of not just Dollywood, but the coming up of Dollywood. We can't lose them. They've got to be there.
Agreed.
Oh, I say no. Don't get rid of them.
Agreed. It's tough both ways, but
it is. I agree.
I do kind of wish the train would stop and you could get off and you could get on. We should patient sometimes, but
I do think that I really, really believe that they will stop the train at the top of the mountain sometime.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I really believe that it will. They'll be sent. Maybe it's a hotel. I don't know, but I think it'll be up
cool
there. Mm-hmm.
That would just be wow. I mean, unless you were there and you had to sleep and you had kids and the whistle. Because I did a video on the sounds of Dollywood, and I did these different sounds, attractions, people. I can't remember what the other one was. Right? I don't know why, and of course the main one was the Dollywood Express. And sometimes you'll be trying to record. Oh, music. That was the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the main 3 that I did. And then sometimes you'll be trying to record something else.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be in almost any video that you do, at least at some point during the day. That one was a really neat blog, too. If you all have not checked it out, make sure you do. That one was neat.
I would say my attraction, obviously, would be the Tennessee Tornado if I can ride it enough times. I've ridden it a bunch of times. It's so short. It's like a minute and a half, but it's incredible. I rode it 50 sometimes one day. I'm going to do that again this year. I think I'm going to try. But if I only had one ride, I'd probably do Thunderhead. That ride's really growing on me. It's painful.
It is
so painful.
It is it's still a really good ride. It is still, when they redid the track, what was it, last year, wasn't it? Coming into 2021 season, I think they had redone it, and it really brought life back to it. But it is, man, it'll beat you to death. But it's it's a really good ride. I get off of it going, oh my gosh, can I ride this again? Maybe
I was afraid it was
going
going
to hours.
Yeah, I know. I was afraid it was going to get too smooth there for a while.
Yeah,
because there was parts of it when after they redid it, it was really, really smooth.
Yeah, you almost could fall asleep. That's not what I want
out of a wood coaster. I want to be beaten to death.
Yep. There's nothing like that. And then going. Yep.
And I count myself lucky that at my age, I can still ride roller coasters that loop even once. Because I have so many friends that are like, I think I'm past that age. I'm like, you're like 30. What are you talking about? This is what I learned about roller coasters was 30. Before that, I was afraid of them. So
yeah. Yeah. Ah, well.
I still remember being in college and, we were going to ride the Ninja in Six Flags Atlanta. I was like, no, I can't do this. It's too scary. I ride it. And I was like, yeah, that was fun.
My first upside down roller coaster was the Vampire at Kentucky Kingdom. And it went forwards and then it went backwards. So you rode it and did that. And I think it was like 3 loops or something it was very short, but that was the first one. Scared me to death. Absolutely.
3 loops backwards. That would be pretty wild.
Yeah. I think it was that. I'd have to look it up, but maybe it was just my mind, but took off, went loop, came back, loop, and you were done. Like that was pretty much it. Yeah.
There's this thing at Busch Gardens called Tempest that goes up and around and does these really slow loops.
Ooh.
I
like
air down.
Yeah. More air time almost. Ooh.
One of the hosts told me at Tornado that you could ride it with it open, way open, because you're not going to fall out because it's very little time when you're pushed. And if you're in the front row though, that's the only thing I don't like about the front row. I love that feeling of, you feel the slowness, but when it shoves you out of the seat, like in that last, I don't know what they were thinking. Like in the end where you come around that turn, you go up. That's the hardest part of the ride for me.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. But no, I'm not going to ride it with it open. No, not interested.
Tighten down. I occasionally get bruises on my shoulders.
Oh my gosh. No.
All right. So what's your favorite non-Christmas show? It's way too early for Christmas. I'll have you back. We'll talk about Christmas shows. We'll do another one of these at Christmas.
My favorite non-Christmas show. This one, because I don't watch as many shows because I go out and I like to do the attractions, but I'm gonna say I'll say the Kingdom Airs. Does that work? In general, just because I really like I like they're just extremely talented, and they can sing. They can really sing. And they're original to the park, very talented, and they're not just park in entertainment. It is very impressive to go and see them. Even if you don't enjoy gospel, I still think if you can just go and be like, wow, yeah, these guys can sing and they can play and they're the real deal. These are pretty impressive to just be here all the time. That's just crazy. They're in the park all the time, other than when the park is closed.
Yep.
Yeah, it's something else.
And then there's a very highbrow humor they bring to the.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yeah. That's always so funny.
They're a fun group. They are a fun group. And maybe I'm partial because I did get to interview them, and that was neat. So
now, were you okay with the new one? Okay with it and them changing people?
And they do, and it's part of it. Like I'm a fan of Daly and Vincent. They're a bluegrass group, and they have to change people every now and then. Some people aren't always going to be on the road. They want to be home with their family and things like that. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. It still sounds good.
Yeah, I agree. You also are a Disney fan. You know. What are you changing something? They can't change. They live here forever.
You can't do that. Who's doing that? Yeah.
All right. So who's your favorite entertainer? like of all the entertainers, the people, maybe the ones that walk around, maybe the show, maybe you just like the guy that tells jokes for the Kingdom Heirs.
Miss Lillian.
Same.
Miss Lillian. Yep.
She is a hoot. That she was one of the people I put in the video as well because she's just nuts, man. She was her and Applejack and somebody else. I didn't know her name. Who was playing the fiddle? They were just playing, and Miss Lillian was just like dancing around. Chicken paparazzi. She calls me chicken paparazzi. I don't know if she does that to everybody. I don't know if that's just me, but. I'm always filming her when I walk up, and I'll film a little interview with her every time I do something.
She's great, and I'll say it on this side. She has created, like, I don't know if they purposefully had her create that character, if for Miss Lillian, or if she kind of did it. But either way, they can't get rid of her. I mean, like there's no way. There is no way. She is too ingrained in that. She's awesome.
I wanted to interview her. That was one of my.
Are you getting
in or out of character? I didn't care. I don't know if somebody else did it or not, but
are you going to get to or no?
No.
Oh,
that's not what she chose.
See, and I don't.
In character would be just as fun as out of character. I would love to ask the questions you just asked. I would also love to ask her just to go nuts.
I don't know. There has to be something tough there for them to because I don't think they really get to interview her normally. So I'm not really sure what all it is. I just know she is a treasure, as is Blazing Fury.
So you didn't call that as your favorite. I thought you might have. I didn't even think about it. But you might have used that one because that show.
It is a national treasure. It is. I have to make a plaque at some point and come up and carry it. It is. I cannot
believe you didn't come to Thrills in the Hills last year and get to ride that in the dark
with the lights on
and with the lights on.
Yeah, that's usually in July. Is it in July? Okay.
Yeah. Do that this year. Come on, man. You can do it.
I need to try to. Yeah. Yeah. I need to try to do it. Hopefully.
It is such a fun event. And that's, if you want to know when I eat my cinnamon bread, that's the day. My daughter came with me. My granddaughter was on the tour. And at the end, Wes Ramey, he was handing out cinnamon bread and talking to him and stuff. And then at the end, there's a lot of people don't come to the after event. And he's like, here, take some cinnamon bread. And we were there for the weekend. And we had so much cinnamon bread in that room. It was just not even funny. And I just kept eating it.
Well, why? Yeah. I mean, when they hand it to you, especially, you can't refuse. You just can't. It's being impolite.
They let us walk through Blazing Fury, take pictures with the lights on. They didn't tell us enough historical stories. I still don't understand what the heck that ride's about or why it is. Somebody put out an article on the Insiders that I need to read about who are those people who are their names escape me. But Polly and what's the guy's name?
Week back or not, here I come.
Yeah. Somebody put out an article about it, and maybe I'll read. Maybe they have some details. But the ride makes no sense. And there's a graveyard you can't see without the lights on, and the waterfalls and it's the backbreaking. It's really backbreaking if you ride it enough times.
We
rode it an hour straight.
And it's neat to, like, I just think everybody should ride it once just to kind of see where we've come from. Like, the animatronics are pretty cool down there at Disney. They are. Have you seen the animatronics at Blazing Fury? Yeah. You need to see them.
I'm going to put up a picture when I edit this of that guy And his arm, did you ever notice his arm is not straight? His arm's laying here, but it's like
it's just it's good, and I don't want him to change it. Like I don't want him.
Really.
It's okay. It is okay the way it is, even if it's cheesy and it looks ridiculous and it looks ancient. It's okay. Leave it because it's just part.
Like I
it
say,
really is history. I mean, it's neat.
Only thing I want to know is why. I want to know some history. I want to, when I'm riding through it and I'm seeing the guy with the arm. Is that and Polly and Luther? That's right.
Yeah, Luther.
I want to feel like why I understand why these things are occurring, not just because I can see how most people are like going.
Yeah, I always figured it's some kind of that the town's being overtaken. It's almost like a Pirates of the Caribbean in a way, except instead of pirates, it's a Western shootout type deal, and then they're burning down the town or something. I mean, that's just kind of what I figure out. And there's a guy stuck on the toilet that's trying to save people, and a woman getting ready to jump out of a building, and then we go down into a coal mine. I don't. That's about as much sense as I could make.
How much of this do you think is a Stockholm syndrome sort of thing, where the first time you're like, but the 10th time you're like, oh, this is cool.
I love
the 100th time you're like, this is the treasure.
Yes, I mean pretty much because the first, yeah, you do. You ride it. I remember riding it as a kid. It must have been the same trip as like the memory I have riding Dollywood Express. So I remember riding it as a kid and kind of looking up at this thing, and then riding it as an adult when you haven't done it in a long time, and you come back and you ride it, and you're like, what am I even in? Why did I even get in this? Then you get off of it and go, okay, I'm not like, why is it so old? But then you ride it again, and you have to ride it with the mindset of, this is how rides, this is why we have good rides. I guess it's not that that's a bad ride, but this is why yeah, I know. This is why technology has improved. You know, you're looking at it, these poor people just awkwardly rocking in their chairs. I mean, I would hate to get like, really, if the ride broke down and the lights went out and I could hear them over there going, it would be a nightmare. It would be a terrifying ride. You could make that into a haunted ride easy.
I will say I've begged them every year at the Thrills in the Hills. I'm thinking, why don't you do this at Halloween? Turn the lights out on that. Let everybody ride it. Turn the lights out on Tornado. Turn the lights out on Thunderhead. I don't know how Wild Eagle. I haven't been able to ride that one yet. I don't know how those rides will be without the lights on, but
ooh,
man, it would be awesome.
I think any of them with the rides out. Blazing Fury the most because it's inside. So I mean, you're locked in, and don't raise up your hands because you don't know what you're going to touch. That's just, I mean, you don't know who's going to grab you from the side. Is she really going to jump, and is she going to land next to you? So because if she does, we're in trouble.
If you're ever going south, there's a place called Wet Lake Winnepesaukah. Have you heard of Lake Winnie?
I don't. Oh, Lake Winnie, yes.
Yeah. They have a boat ride that's the boat ride equivalent of a Blazing Fury, and where you go and you just through this dark cavern the whole time, and the boat's like banging on the sides, and it's one of the first boat rides like that, boat shoot rides. All right, so this is a boat ride, and it is. Yeah, this is like super duper creepy, and all right, so you see that's what it is, right? This is this metal shed, pretty long metal shed, kind of freaky. And it's the same kind of thing. I don't know why they don't just turn the lights out on it. Maybe have a few hands grabbing at you. Put a little stuff to just touch your face.
Ooh, ooh.
And they really
Yeah.
do Halloween there. They have a Halloween little train ride that it's a little tiny train, and they have people coming out of the woods and scaring you and stuff.
Oh my!
My wife
Yeah.
did not like that.
I bet. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That crosses that goes into a whole different realm there sometimes. Yeah. When we all
I kind of
start
like
screaming.
I like Dollywood's approach to Halloween. I like Disney's approach to Halloween. I haven't been to Universal's stuff. That looks pretty terrifying.
I'm not my coworker of mine, friend of mine. He went and loved it, but he loves haunted houses. And you just kind of like, for me, I have to go in knowing I have to trick myself into, like going into it. I know this stuff isn't real, but I have to really psych myself up. Like, okay, this is, I have to really pretend here. Cause Universal stuff is just walking around it in the daytime. When it's all set up, it's pretty creepy in the broad light of day.
Yeah. I am actually now a 3 pass holder here.
I saw you had gotten your Universal pass. Yes.
I don't know if I have to go to that now or not. Hopefully I didn't share my credit card number there.
It isn't, because it's an extra pay, right? It's not included in the season pass.
No. Oh yeah, no. I think it is
if you pay enough.
I'm not sure. Because I have the lowest annual pass that they have. I had to leave early, and I was like, well, can I get another ticket? He's like, for $20 you can have an annual pass. It's like, okay.
Sure. I mean, really,
even if I don't use it, I get the card.
It's because it's like along the lines of Dollywood. When you're there, you pay for, if you go 2 days, you may as well just pay for the third and then the season pass. I mean, really.
Yep.
It's at that point. If you live within 4 hours and you think you're going to go for 3 days at any point in the year, you get a season pass.
Yep. And it's worth it just for Christmas. Go 1 or 2 days at Christmas. Go 1 or 2 days at Halloween. Hit a few festivals in the summer. The drone show. Holy cow. That was amazing.
And
apparently they're adding to it. They didn't.
I was going to say they're supposed to be expanding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really neat. That was really neat. I'd be fine without fireworks.
I posted a video of that, and it was really weird. During the fireworks, people were talking just a lot. Just drones went up. It was like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the last drone went away, and it was like, and woof. And I was trying to video the fireworks, and it was just like hundreds of people going past me. I'm here. Let's go. Traffic.
It's true, because that's just kind of the thing. I don't stay for fireworks even at Disney. I just don't. I'm not a big. It's fun. My son we might stay for one night when we're at Dollywood and watch the fireworks, but I don't stay for multiple nights. We've seen it once. All right, let's keep going.
But the Christmas ones this year at all.
The drone, I didn't either. I didn't see the Christmas ones. I planned on it, but I was tired and it was cold by the end of it. So we went ahead and went back. But the drone, I think we were there for sure 2 nights, maybe 3. And we watched it every night.
I think I saw it 3 times.
And my nieces and my son wanted to see it. So that's what we hung out, and it really was very cool. Very well done.
I still wish it ended on the butterfly. Not to complain, but that was weird.
I was surprised because
comes up. I'm like, what?
Because it ended on the sunrise, right? Wasn't that what like over the mountain, right? So I mean I get it, but effect. I'm surprised that they didn't end on the butterfly.
I would love.
Who knows? Maybe they are.
Blast of fireworks.
Boom.
Get out.
Yep. There you go. We fixed it.
I feel like I'm in a Geico commercial when that happened too, because they have those commercials now about we got to get out of here. We're going to leave about the second quarter. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're all just sitting there playing. We got to go. This traffic is going to be all over us.
And you're already on that side of the park over in Wildwood Grove, so you're already close to the exit there. So you just want to go, especially if you park in Preferred. You want to just go there.
That it's really good to watch it from Preferred.
Oh,
especially
I
the fireworks.
I believe it. Because I mean it's in everything's right there.
Yeah.
It's still all of it, and it's behind. Yeah. They're shooting right now. They're shooting them off from that blank, or the empty area there, which
Yep.
is not going to be empty for long. So they're going to have to change something around there.
Yep. And boy, you're gonna be shocked when you see how different arriving at Dollywood is when you get there.
Oh, the
parking
pictures,
terminal is great.
The pictures alone is something else.
There, how you used to get out on the trams, that whole area, that's gone. That's been moved. So the tram stop's been moved. You won't drive against the tram stops. I don't know how getting out's going to be, but I think there's like 2 lanes both ways, and they can probably rearrange that at night for leaving.
Yep.
It's gonna be awesome.
They needed the more, because they added parking, right? Didn't they add more spots? Or is it basically
I don't know. He said
just
there was
trying to move people?
1,750 some slots.
See, I don't know
And
what
they
they
can
had
load
before.
1,600 cars an hour.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic total.
So in an hour they can fill it. They're already done. Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's pretty
And
impressive.
he was so geeky about that. He was like, I just love this. It's like, me too, but
That's crazy.
I
It is
expect you to be a little
absolutely
more nerdy than this. I really like this so much. I geeked out. He was the coolest president kind of person I've ever met, because he was no nonsense. He wasn't really, selling it. He was just he was telling the truth. He was telling the
Just
story. I believed every word he said.
that's
Listen
good.
to the people. I'm because someone asked him the question, if you would have to, if you ask Chapek this, right? How do you choose which attractions you keep and which ones you have to change? And Disney people were like, hey, don't change it. He was like, sometimes you got to change it. And the last year the rains came and the mud slid, and they were gonna have to get rid of that. So cave gone.
Yeah. Well, and because they cut down all the trees. Is that what you're talking about with all the?
No, the cave. Where the cave's
Oh,
gone.
the cave. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I misunderstood. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
the cave that everybody loves now.
Yeah. All of a sudden, everybody finds. Yeah, it stinks that it's gone, but nobody was complaining about the little buildings that were behind the cave that disappeared a couple of years ago, I believe. They'd been there forever. So how come nobody complained about that?
I was always hoping they would put something there, but I also understand this change as well.
It'll be like, I saw some of the pictures, but it's just seeing it in person is going to change it. Because that means that when the train is going by, you actually get another, like 40 feet to watch the train go by. So that changes it.
Yes.
Totally changes it.
I will do my best to video all of it and post it that night before I go home, while I'm in the McDonald's.
Good luck.
Or wherever I stop.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by McDonald's.
Oh my. Yeah, you got a big job ahead of you on that one.
Definitely going to cover all the changes I see.
There's probably going to be a lot of them. Yeah. All good changes. They always are.
I might even eat some pizza at Iron Horse Pizza.
I like the name. I do like the name. I kind of hated that Victoria's went away, but then I was like, well, then who's Victoria? Like, why was it called Victoria's Pizza? So I did not know. Was it because of the picture place next to it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's because of the Victorian style, is what some people have said. I asked the host, and they were like,
yeah,
there's no Victoria. That's not
Iron,
somebody's mom or
yeah. Iron Horse, I'm right with it. With
that's always the question. I'm like,
that?
Who's Miss Lillian? Miss Lillian was some relative, right? The name is,
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of history there. I like how she's done that.
Yeah.
But then some things are just like, that's what it was named.
We're just leaving it. Yeah.
So all the other entertainers, before we end this, because it's been an hour and 13 minutes since I started the recording. So you like any of the other entertainers? You like Miss Lillian best, but is Joe the Juggler or not? He's not your favorite, or
I have nothing against Joe the
Francis
Juggler.
or
but
Applejack or all the other.
It's got Applejack is probably the probably the other favorite of that. And the fairies are always fun. Up in Wildwood Grove and
Flit and
Benjamin
Flutter.
Bear. Yep, Flit and Flutter and Benjamin Bear. They're always good just because my nieces love the fairies and my son loves the bear. So they're all hard questions asking which one's the favorite. So for me, I'll just say for me, yeah, Miss Lillian, and then I guess my nieces get the fairies and my son gets Benjamin Bear.
Yeah, I like him all. Joe's really awesome. I talked to him quite a bit. I haven't seen him juggle lately. He seems to be doing other jobs sometimes now. And then Francis is a hoot.
Yeah,
even though I insulted him once, big time. I was like, I really hate that. What was it? The show they did, the Christmas show. I'll edit this down too and get this cleaner.
Which one? I can't.
It's a Wonderful Life. I wasn't a fan of It's a Wonderful Life, and I forgot he was like one of the big characters. Wasn't his fault, but
I did not.
That one was.
You don't have to put this in there either. I didn't care for it. I went to see it because I thought it would be neat. It was missing something. I just did not. I didn't buy into it. Now, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Yep.
Love it. And
that's a good one.
Christmas in the Smokies. That's my wife's favorite show at Dollywood.
You can't go wrong with that. You cannot.
It gets a little nuts for me in the middle. That's the part when they're in church and they're like, that one's like, this seems like you're just going a little far here. Okay, can we just calm down?
Yeah.
This is not the church I go to. It's much more calm than this.
Yeah, the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and Christmas in the Smokies. I am 100% behind those. Those were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was glad to see that one came back last year. Be interesting to see what happens this year.
Yeah,
all the COVID stuff's gone this for now, as long as nothing goes sideways in the world again. Yes, that's gonna be nice. Okay, well, I think it's time to call this an end.
All right.
You got any other things you want to say? How do we get in touch with you? What's the best
so you can
tell you how terrible your opinions are.
Yeah, I know. But or we can talk about how Blazing Fury really is a national treasure. So you can find me on Twitter at Snapshots Made, on Instagram and Facebook at Snapshots Made Yesterday. That's where and I'm Justin. So and hopefully I'll be able to post a little bit more than what I've been doing. I've just with it's just life. Getting used to the new job kind of takes that right now. So, but if you want to talk about Dollywood anytime, absolutely, or Kentucky Kingdom, because it's just up the road from me basically. So, I'm always in for local stuff. Absolutely,
that is on my list. I was going to come up there. It was 2019. I was planning. There's a couple of SQL Server user groups that I was going to come speak at, and one of them is in Louisville. One's in wherever Rupp Arena's at.
Lexington.
Yeah. And I was going to go to those and then go to that park and then Holiday World.
Oh yes,
which is an interesting place.
Yeah,
I sometimes want to get together a group of people and talk about the pros and cons of all the different theme parks.
Yeah,
Holiday World was interesting. It was a negative for me because I couldn't ride any of the rides, but it seemed like a really nice place, and they have free drinks. That was nice.
Well, and owned by a family. I don't know if the family still owns it, but the Cook family, they owned it for a long time.
Oh, cool.
And did a really nice job. And their mom did a lot of the commercials for it.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It was pretty neat. Yeah, it was very neat.
Okay, so I'm gonna end it here, and it's gonna fade out, and there's gonna be some music and.